this is TKKNMSTR here, and I'm going to give my pick for the best weapon in 2013. And it's going to go to Batman Arkham Origins for the shock gloves that you get, because, man, they are incredible. So, usually, in Batman Arkham games, when you're fighting enemies, and they have certain equipment, you have nothing to do to offensively combat them and you're on the defensive, or you have to use a different attack regular than your regular attack to break the guard or to create an opening. For example, you have the baton enemies that you have to jump behind them with the redirect and then hit them from the back. You have the armor enemies that you have to do a cape stun before you can get an attack in. Shield enemies the same, where you do a cape stun and then you do an aerial attack to take them down. But with the shock gloves, everything is fair game in a combat scenario. As soon as you get the charge up, and it is just great and fantastic, and I love using them to clear rooms. It's so fast, and once you get those and the critical hits rolling in, you become an unstoppable force of martial arts dispensing justice Batman, and it's just, I love it. I love using them. And the other cool thing about the shock gloves is that in Batman Arkham Origins specifically, this is like the first time that these have shown up, so it's really evident that later on in the game, like why they're in the game, because the amount of enemies that you face and the variation of enemy types that you face, it's like something that you can fall back on, but you don't need to use it, because in the challenge rooms themselves, if you don't use them, you actually end up getting higher scores, because your combos will be longer, because the shock gloves are so powerful that you take down enemies so fast that you end up losing points if you take them down too quickly. So it's actually a strategic advantage to not use them and become a better player as you play through combat rooms and get better in the combat, which is amazing and like the best it's ever been in the Batman Arkham series. But yeah, it's great because you get to turn the table on all the enemies from the previous games in the series that have just been so annoying that you could never do anything to. It's like, oh, there's a baton dude. The baton dudes. I'm just gonna punch them in the face or counter their attacks. Same thing with the shield dudes. Actually, I'm not sure if you can counter the baton dudes, but the shield dudes for sure. If they try to bash you, you can just take the shield, counter them, hit them in the face with it. And it's like, oh yeah, I just have been waiting for 2 games. Or I guess not 2 games, but like, it feels so good to like finally turn the tables on the enemies that have been using these tactics and, switch it up. And be like, oh, look at that, I'm on the offensive now. And it feels like it's such a tide turner when you activate them and you're just like, you take it to the enemy, and it's so good. And, it's also, you can see it as something that it makes sense as a handicap, because, I could see as people that might not be as good as a combat needing them, but then like when you're able to clear rooms without them, it's like you feel that much more empowered and better as a player of the game. But yeah, shock gloves, totally where it's at. Just turn them on and they make this cool sound, and there's even more cool effects when you are using them, like with your instant takedowns and your counters and whatnot, and just like the whole bar and how it like goes up and refills. And yeah, you have to push the sticks in, and just once that happens and you hear the zzz, and they charge up, and it's like, oh yeah, time to shock the crap out of everybody with my shock gloves and just destroy them all. It just feels so good all the time, or not all the time. It feels every time I'm just like dealing it out, and your combos just keep on going, and it's just like boom, 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 so good. So yeah, that's my pick for the best new weapon, the shock gloves, for 2013 Batman Arkham Origins. Shock gloves. So good.